Hi everyone, my name is Katrina. I'm currently a fourth year social work student at Ryerson University. I'm currently in the Bachelor of Social Work program, and I'm here today to do my first book club with you all on behalf of the organization For a Safer Space that I'm doing my practicum for. So the book that I'll be discussing today is Sister Outsider, Essays and Speeches by Audre Lorde. So Essays and Speech, Sister Outsider was originally published in 1985, and it was republished and edited again in 2007. This book is a compilation of essays and speeches written by Audre Lorde. The main themes include feminism, heterosexism, homophobia, intersectionality, oppression, power, racism, and sexism. So a little bit about the author, about Audre Lorde. She uses the pronouns she, her. Audre Lorde identifies as a Black woman, lesbian, feminist, mother of two, and daughter of Grenadian immigrants, educator, and cancer survivor activist. So here, as you can see on the screen, it is our table of contents of this book. For this first book club, I'm only going to be discussing the introduction, notes from a trip to Russia, and poetry is not a luxury, which I did bold there. The next few sessions, we will continue on and discuss the other chapters. So first, let's start with the introduction. It's not an official chapter, but it does give us a brief overview of what this whole book will be talking about. And it takes pieces from different chapters and the main themes, but the introduction begins by explaining the concept of the book, that it is a compilation of essays and speeches written by Audre Lorde. Lorde uses poetry rather than theory as her way of deepening our understanding of what feminism means. Audre Lorde's voice is central to the development of contemporary feminist theory. So I did also pull a quote from the introduction. So the quote begins by saying, "Some problems we share as women, some we do not. You fear your children will grow up to join the patriarchy and testify against you. We fear our children will be dragged from a car and shot down in the street, and you will turn your backs upon the reasons they are dying." And this was on page 12. So now we're going to talk about the next chapter, which is called Notes from a Trip to Russia. So this section of Lorde's book talks about her trip to Russia, where she was asked to attend a conference. This essay is a compilation of different journal entries Lorde made during her trip to Russia that compares how American life differs from Russia through how she experienced her trip. By sharing her experiences as is, Lorde is able to do so in a more casual way rather than coming off as judgmental when making her comparisons. So once you do read this chapter, you'll notice that Lorde talks about very different experiences throughout her whole trip. It's not just one long story, it's many different journal entries, as I mentioned before. And basically what she does with this is she wants to have more of a casual conversation with us as readers by drawing some comparisons from what she's observing and seeing firsthand versus what she knows from back home in America. So she's trying to do so casually so that she's not coming off as judgmental and saying, America's better than Russia, because that's not her point. Her point is to just draw from what she's experiencing and how it differs from what she's already experienced in America. So I did also pull a quote. It begins so, when you find people who start from a position where human beings are at the core, as opposed to a position where profit is at the core, the solutions can be very different. And this was on page 32. So the next chapter we'll be discussing is Poetry is Not a Luxury. So this essay talks about the use of poetry as a form of communication and expressing our emotions that goes beyond the simple rhyming of words. Lorde argues that poetry is a way to help women name the feelings and emotions they experience. Poetry is more than just words, but a way to express emotion and empower us to accept what we are feeling. So this section of the book, it's very short and condensed, but it does get her point across. And as I mentioned before, Lorde uses poetry rather than theory to kind of describe what she's feeling and what she's trying to say. And so the main point of this specific essay is that poetry can be such a powerful tool for women and women of color especially to communicate how they're feeling. So many times when we're feeling sad or angry, or even when we're feeling things that we can't tangibly name, Lorde argues that poetry can be a very powerful tool in being able to express those feelings. and really accept what we are feeling. So again, I also pulled a quote from this part. It's called, it says, "Poetry is not a luxury. It is a vital necessity of our existence. It forms the quality of the light within which we predict our hopes and dreams towards survival and change, first made into language, then into an idea, then into more tangible action." And again, this is on page 42. So those are just the chapters that we'll be talking about today. Again, it's a short little meeting, but next time I will be discussing the next 3 chapters. So I look forward to chatting with you all later, and thank you for listening.